Hello, this is Mad Cat, and welcome to another edition of B&D Smash the Matriarchy. Censors won't let us say boobs and dicks, but you know what B&D stands for. Anyways, I am Dix, and I am joined with the lovely Modern Medusa, also known as... No, YouTube, sorry, I gotta turn off my fan. No, YouTube doesn't censor what we say on this, although give it some time, I'm sure they eventually will, but certainly we are careful with the title. So we wanted to change it up today. We wanted to experiment, see like what would happen if we did this later. We know that some people work during the daytime, and we want to try to reach out to our audience while at the same time working around our schedules. So we'll see what this does for us today. And there's nothing really more to say than that. How are you doing, Vanessa?
Sorry, I had to push the button. I'm doing okay. The fucking dryer finally stopped, thank God. So yeah, I'm doing all right. I think I took a nap. I don't remember what happened, so I'm kind of. Yeah, I would love one of those things that you have in your hand right now.
Noticing my monster.
Yeah, exactly.
Or as I like to call it, my green monster.
Let me put that monster in my mouth. I'm talking about energy drink, I swear. Yes. I can see. Oh.
All right, so we've got some really fucked up articles today, so let's jump right to them. All right. So we'll start with this one for the LA Times. Female directors unite at Comic-Con to push for gender equality in Hollywood. Okay, so this is not exactly anything new. Especially Jennifer Lawrence has tried to push for equality in Hollywood, which really just translated, I want more money for me. And she got it. She made more money than her male co-stars. Where was she for that? But now we've got female directors. So let's see what they have to say. Director Patricia Riggins spent years struggling to make the transition from film to television. Her first year directing TV, however, wasn't easy. Oh my God. You mean directing is a hard job to do? That's astounding. I thought it was super, super easy. Getting hired doesn't end the fact that we still have to prove ourselves every single day, every single minute that we're on set. Wow. That's like every single job everywhere, especially one that involves like millions of dollars. She said Saturday to a packed room at Comic-Con panel on female directors. So yeah, let's get a whole bunch of women directors into a room and talk about how hard their job is. In an off-the-cuff moment, she recalled being questioned and doubted by a male colleague. He's like, you're here because you were a woman. We're being forced to hire women. You know why? Because they're not good. Well, and we'll look at the rest of this article, but that really spells it out of what's going on with this. I'm calling bullshit on some man saying women aren't good. He'd say that shit behind her back. Yeah, warped reflection on that one. Well, let's take her case that she's correct, that someone did say that she was hired because she's a woman. Well, this is what feminists wanted. They wanted women to be hired solely for the fact that they had a vagina. They wanted equality of outcome. Well, this is what equality of outcome looks like. You know, we had affirmative action that was based on equality of outcome for African Americans. Then women wanted in on that sweet deal. And now they're being told, hey, you're only here because you're a woman. That's the only reason why we hired you. And they're like, oh, no, we don't want that. We want to be hired because we're good. Well, you can't have it both ways. Either you're hired because you're the best person for the job, or you're hired because you're a woman. And since we've been telling feminists for 30 years, Paul Elam has been telling them for 30 years, Warren Farrell's been telling them for 30 years that equality of outcome is a very bad thing. And now it's come full circle that this is exactly what's happening in Hollywood. And the feminists are not happy because now they're not being taken seriously. And statistically, women directors do worse than male directors. It's just a fact. You know, look at, you know, just look at it all. Look at all the statistics. Now, they're talking specifically about television, which, while movies haven't gone full social justice warrior yet, it's trying to. Television has become very social justice warriors. It's like I was watching Flash a few weeks ago, and they had the feminist episode in there. Now, I love the Flash show. I love it a lot. But that episode just really pissed me off because it's like, oh, we're all women fighting crime for feminism. And it's like, by the end of the episode, the person you're trying to save, you didn't really save. The villain you're going after, who was a female, by the way, you basically let her go. Yeah, that sounds like feminism to me. Basically nothing.
Well, I hate that. I just can't stand the musical episode.
Oh, I have musicals.
Oh, God. You're my super friend. That made me want to...
Please,
That made me want to shoot my face off.
Okay, so let's continue on. In the age of the Me Too and Time's Up, I don't know what the Time's Up movement is.
Me neither.
Two movements calling attention to sexual harassment in Hollywood. No, while Me Too started because of Hollywood, Me Too is a movement that talks about sexual harassment everywhere, not just Hollywood. Several Comic-Con panelists this year addressed female representation in film and TV. Two such panels, Fridays, The Future of Film is Female, and Saturdays, Women Rocking Hollywood, featured directors including Rosemary Rodriguez, who did Jessica Jones and The Walking Dead, Kat Candler, Queen Sugar, There's a huge conversation around this issue. A lot of social media, press, but the statistics haven't really changed. Christian Schaefer, Executive Director of Women in Film. Shaver pointed to a study by the University of Southern California's Annenberg Inclusion Initiative.
What's up? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I thought it was just me, but someone in the chat said that it went quiet for a minute, and I don't think it got you reading that paragraph before. But I mean, they can still see it. So
Basically, there's been a lot of conversation about this issue, but nothing has changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so chat, let me know if you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Here, I'll just double check real quick. Okay, so chat, let me know if yeah, it's working. All right, so Schaefer pointed out a study by the University of Southern California and found that over the last 11 years, 4% of the top grossing movies were directed by women. Only 7 of those films were by women of color. The TV landscape is marginally better. A study by the Directors Guild of America looking at the 2016-17 season found that 21% of TV episodes were directed by women. Moderator and author Alicia Malone noted that out of nearly 50 movies released this summer by major studios, only 2 were directed by women. Of those directors was Fogel. Okay, but my question is how did those films fare? I mean, if you can prove to me that women do just as good, if not better job than men, then you've got a case. But, you know, the biggest problem right now in Hollywood is that you have all of these movies that anytime there's like some female character in them, it has to push this narrative that women are oppressed, women are better than men, and men are just stupid. I point specifically to Ghostbusters and to Star Wars, 2 movies that really tried to push this female empowerment narrative and completely fell on its face. And instead of accepting, hey, maybe people don't want to see these movies, said, oh, we're just going to blame the fan base. We're going to blame the customers, the people who actually have money. Maybe if you stop trying to push this narrative and make content for the people who have money, you would be more successful. And maybe with that success, then you could try the experimental stuff when you've built up your name. That's how you get anything done in this world. You know, I would love to write, you know, a book that focuses on men's rights. But I know that the reading world is primarily feminist, which means that either I cater to them specifically, build up my name, and then put something out there, or try to put something out there and fail miserably. That's just how things work. It's not sexism if a certain market feels a certain way about things. Okay, so I'm happy to pave the way, but to be in such a small group is pretty depressing and can also hamper the storytelling because every female-directed movie carries so much weight to be everything to all women. Bull fucking shit. That is your fucking problem. Every time a woman does something in this world, it has to be a representation of all women. And it can't just be one person who happens to be a woman becomes successful. No, she has to take on the mantle of all women. And that's why there is such a failure. Maybe if it wasn't so divided by the genders, like, oh, well, these men just have it so easy because they have a penis and they get to direct most of the movies. I mean, look at Joss Whedon. I mean, he mostly made his name in television. Now, yes, I know he directed Buffy the Vampire series, but he also started off as a writer for the show Roseanne. And he built up enough of a reputation on that show, released a movie, then released some TV shows, and eventually did Avengers, the top grossing film of all time. He worked himself up. He didn't say, oh, well, it's because of man that I have to work on Roseanne. No, he did his job. He did it well. He improved. But every time we get one of these women coming out of Hollywood, it's like, oh, it's just so oppressive to be a woman. No, you just don't want to do the hard work to get there.
Yeah. Do you think if I asked this lady for some money just for being a woman, that she would give it to me?
Maybe.
Huh? Like, hey, I know you're speaking out for all women. Can you help a brother out? I'm trying to be a director, please.
Well, if you phrase it that way, she might think you're trans and be more willing to give you money.
True. Someone in the chat said Josh is getting shit for his reboot of Buffy from the likes of Anita. I'm guessing you mean Anita.
Damn you, Anita. I actually agree with you on this. Just trying to say, hey, I really like the black people and lesbians, so let's destroy everything I created, the iconic Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I like that show and I like its spin-offs. So let's destroy that and redo everything so I can pander to this demographic so they can feel more included. That is such a fucking bullshit.
Why don't they just make a new black chick vampire show? I don't understand.
Exactly. They should do that. And it can exist in the same universe.
Oh my god. Andrew just said call it Scruffy.
What's up?
Andrew just said call it Scruffy instead of Buffy.
Scruffy. Scruffy, the Vampire Slayer. I don't know if that's any.
Because she only trims her pubes, she doesn't shave them all the way.
Okay, so Schaefer encourages Comic-Con attendees to support work by female filmmakers in order to push for gender parity in Hollywood. Oh, that is so stupid. This is what happened with the Hugo Awards, where people got butthurt that a lot of people who weren't like female, black, transsexuals got nominated for awards, and they punished the Hugo Awards. What was this, 2016? And basically awarded no award for 8 categories, which was the first time in its 60-year history. And they're basically doing the same thing. Don't see a movie that interests you. Only see movies from female directors. But you know what? That's also the right thing to do from their side of it. Because you know what? They want to blame, oh, well, you know, Hollywood is sexist and blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to shame Hollywood into giving them more jobs. And what you need to do is you need to go to the fans and say, hey, watch our stuff. And then Hollywood be like, oh, suddenly people have interest in female directors. We should have more of them. You've got to convince Hollywood executives who throw millions of dollars at TV show and hundreds of millions of dollars at movies and say, hey, if you give it to a female director, she will make not only your money back, but more than your money back. That's how you get things changed. But basically, they're still saying only watch films that were directed by females. Only watch films that have female leads. That's what they're saying.
Personally, I like my cast to be all men, no women at all. I like even Magic Mike didn't have enough men in it for me. There was too many women in it.
Look, you know, I don't mind movies directed by females. I mean, I was talking about Kung Fu Panda. That was directed by a woman. And it was a very good film. And it didn't try to say, oh, we're going to focus on Tigress and how she's a strong female who doesn't get any respect and she should have been the Dragon Warrior, blah, blah, blah. It didn't do that. It just told a story. It was very good.
Yeah.
You know, another movie that I can think off the top of my head that was directed by a female that is really loved by a lot of people was Real Genius. Now I forget who directed it, but it was directed by a woman, and it's considered one of the best films of all time, at least featured in people's top 20 list of good films.
Which film did you say?
Real Genius.
Oh, I don't think I've seen that one.
It's from the 80s. It's pretty old. Warp Reflection says Catherine Bigelow got GUID and won awards. These women need to put the effort in. You know, and Jamie Foxx, he won an Academy Award a few years ago. And, you know, I guess he was asked about the representation of Black people winning awards. And he's like, you know what? You know how you win an award? You put the effort in. You do the work, you get awards. But then again, the Academy Awards are very slanted. And it is about who gives them the most stuff. That's basically what it is. So, but he won an Academy Award. He was a Black man. And he's like, you know what? I just did the work. He paid his dues. He got a good movie role. He acted his ass off. He won an award. Is there anything more you want to say about this before we move on?
Nah, go ahead.
All right. Let's talk about this one, which just cracks me up. I just saw this today, so I haven't really read all the way through it, but woo!
Makes me
I posed in a bikini in Times Square. I was expecting comments from haters, but what I actually heard was way more disheartening.
Plays Tanya's violin.
So,
God, ugh, sorry. This is fucking nasty looking.
And you know what? I've seen some fat girls that at least have smooth skin that, you know, I don't really want to look at them, but at least it's not like damaging to my retinas to look at them. This is just awful.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even the bikini that she chose is not flattering at all and ugly as fuck, in my opinion. I just hate everything.
All of those lumps.
Yeah, I know. Ooh, cottage cheese in a sock.
And yeah, we're fat shaming, but come on, if you look like that, come on, you got it coming. All right, so
I mean, she put herself on display for everyone to see.
Yeah, when you put yourself on display, you've got to expect that you're going to get some negative comments. But she said she was expecting that. What did she actually get? So, standing in the middle of Times Square, it wasn't super hot, but the pressure of what I was about to do was making me sweat. My fingers slipped against the fabric of my maxi skirt as I fumbled with the tightly knotted bow. Oh God, I don't even want to read about how you undressed yourself. My outfit fell away, revealing my pink bikini beneath it. I heard hollers from strangers, but the words blurred into an indecipherable mess as I tried, unsuccessfully, to remain calm. A sliver of sun peeked out from behind the skyscrapers, reminding me we were about to lose the light. No more time for nerves. It was now or never. Let's do this, I said out loud. My clothes dropped all the way to the ground and the voices around me became clear.
She's acting like this shit was like Vietnam or something. Like she's so fucking brave. Like she's not naked. That's not, I would walk around, that's literally like a crop top and shorts that I would walk around in normally. Like maybe that makes me a little, you know, not so modest, but you know, that's not that brave. Just say.
I like Warped Reflection. She's like, oh dear, there's lots of nice looking big girls. Why the fuck did they use her?
Oh yeah,
I'm not gonna read this because it's kind of in the article, and I don't do walls of text. So, have some respect for yourself and use some fucking paragraphs. All right. I want to suck on them tasty toes. Hey, baby, let me butter the biscuits for you. I looked up to 3 men with camera phones filming me. Our eyes met, and one uttered, "Twerk for the camera, baby. Show them how the ass clap." Tears began to well up. I was prepared to be pointed at, shamed, and called fat. I didn't expect to be fetishized. And then it gives a related story, and I guess that's really all there was to this, but we don't really need to read the rest of this, but I will torture you, all of you, and keep this picture up. But by her words, she did this solely to be judged, to be called fat, to be fat shamed, to be insulted. She was trying to piss people off.
Right.
And she didn't get the response she wanted. She got the exact opposite extreme of what she was expecting, that people fetishized her, that people wanted to have sex with her. And it was like, oh yeah, look at me. I'm fat and I'm wearing this ugly thing. Yeah, baby, take it off. Oh my God, they said, wait a minute, what did you say? Oh, you're complimenting me? Oh, that's not what I wanted. How should we change this so it makes me out to be more of a victim? Oh, they're fetishizing me. That's even worse than insulting me.
Exactly. Yeah. Even like, what does that mean exactly? That's what I'm wondering. Like, if being fat or if being attracted to someone who is fat is fetishizing someone, does that make skinny people or people of other sizes fetish? Like, are they fetishized or are they not fetishized? I don't understand like what they. I understand that they're just trying to make themselves out to be victims, but I can't figure out the logic because there is none.
Okay, so fetishize refers to people who specifically are only attracted to a certain thing, and that
right
over sexualize it. So in this case, a fat girl,
then you just
over sexualize their desire for it. That's the only thing that can make them happy. There's all sorts of fetishes that you can have. But in this case, what she's complaining about is people only saw her as a sex object, as a fat girl. And that's not the response that she wanted. She didn't want compliments. She wanted to be a victim. So she turned the compliments into, well, they're only seeing me as a sex object.
I wonder if she got any like positive comments from girls or even men who are like, yeah, you go girl, or like get it or something like that, but of course they wouldn't highlight something like that even if they did, because that's positive. That wouldn't victimize them.
Well, look at this crowd right here. A lot of these people it looks like they're trying to avoid eye contact. This guy right here looks like, I'm not looking, but I can't help but to laugh. And this woman is just stunning shock. And I feel bad for her because she's seeing her from behind.
Yeah, I haven't seen it from behind. And the front already looks like a behind, so I'm scared.
So, but like I said, I mean, she couldn't handle the compliment. She wanted to be a victim. It reminds me of there's this woman who did the whole New York street walk thing and got catcalled. Well, another woman wanted to do the same thing in Australia. So she walked around with a video camera and no one catcalled her. And then she complained that, it's like, well, this is why I need feminism, because no one catcalled me. And it's like, you don't want the world catcall you, except when they don't catcall you, then you complain. It was like, God, I can't remember her name, a columnist, the really annoying one. But she's like, I hate that the patriarchy makes me miss being catcalled. She wrote it. She's always against being catcalled, but now that she's not being catcalled, she misses it.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, she went out there with the intention of being harassed, and she didn't get the results, so she had to find a new way to victimize herself.
Right. I mean, if that makes her cry, then what? Does she enjoy harassment? Is she a masochist, possibly? No, maybe that's what gets her up.
I don't think that's it. I think that she has to go on Barbara Walters and be like, well, I wanted to walk around in a bikini, and they all pointed at me and laughed at me, and I can't make it as a fat girl in this world. Boo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's it. She wanted to be a victim so she could get her 15 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, God.
At least she got onto Cosmopolitan, but Cosmopolitan's probably just going to run this story once, and that's it.
Yeah. Just to, say that they did their part for body positivity.
Here, we'll show her face. That takes up most of the screen. At least she shaved her armpits. I'll give her
that. Damn, that would be scary. Ugh.
Right. It's like the wedding cake thing that, LGBT purposely went out there to find a bakery that wouldn't do a gay wedding cake just so they could be like, oh, well, it's a homophobic world. We're being victims here. They were looking for a problem. They were looking to become more famous because they brought up an issue that's not really an issue, and she was doing the same thing.
Bitch asses.
All right, so we've looked at this enough.
Yeah. Bye.
So this is one that probably should be, I should study carefully because, I'm always mansplaining to Modern Medusa here. But Thea Glassman, I think it's Thea Glassman, but she basically made a flow chart for mansplaining in the workplace. And I'll read this a little bit, and then we'll look at the flow chart.
Oh my God.
Mansplaining. The not-so-subtle exchange between a man and a woman when the man feels the need to explain something to a woman that she, A, didn't ask for, B, already knows, and C, knows way more than he does. Oh, it's Kim Goodwin. I apologize. Sorry, Kim Goodwin. I mistook you for someone else. Writer and designer Kim Goodwin took to Twitter to share a chart she made titled, Am I Mansplaining? It would be great if this was distributed to every office, home, and social situation.
This is what you call the laziest fucking writing in the whole goddamn world. Who makes a whole fucking article just over one fucking tweet? That's basically a meme. You fucking low life or no life piece of shit.
Well, I would explain it to you, but I didn't ask if you wanted me to explain it to you, so I'll just keep my Here's how
Please mansplain to me. It's my fetish. I'm fetishizing mansplaining.
That should be a meme. Mansplain to me. It's my fetish.
Yes.
Here's how this chart works. Basically, we start with the first question, which is, did she ask you to explain it? If the answer is yes, then feel free to explain away. It's not mansplaining, and it's just one person breaking down something for someone else. If she didn't ask you to explain it, Then we enter the treacherous, icky waters of mansplaining central. So I'll read her tweet and then we'll take a look at the picture. I have had more than one male colleague sincerely ask whether a certain behavior is mansplaining. Since apparently this is hard to figure out, I made one of them a chart. So here's the chart in question. So let's explore this. Did she ask you to explain it? Yes. Not mansplaining. No. Do you have more relevant experience? Well, you don't always know that when you're trying to explain something, but either yes, by a fair amount, yes, the same, or not sure. She has more and is a well-known expert. Okay, so if yes, by a fair amount, would most men with her education and experience already know this? If it's no, then it basically... did you ask if she needed it explained? And if yes, she did give you permission, and no, she didn't already know it, then it's not mansplaining. And that's really the crux of it right here. Okay. If yes, that she should already know this, then it's probably mansplaining. Now, if you have about the same experience and you're not really sure, it's probably mansplaining. If she has more experience than you, then it's definitely mansplaining. She has more and is a well-known expert, just stop talking now. And if she has a fair amount of relevant experience that she should know, but didn't ask you to explain it, just stop talking now.
I want to reread this flowchart. On the top, I would say, am I being an annoying bitch?
Well, I'm going to attempt to use this flowchart to see if this flowchart is womansplaining.
Okay.
Did I ask this chart to explain what mansplaining is? No, I did not. Do I have more relevant experience than the woman who designed this? Actually, yes, I do. By a fair amount. I have a lot more. I'm not a well-known expert, but, you know, having dealt with psychology, having been in the business world, having been the leader of a lot of different groups, having been just in movements in general, I know how to treat people. I know that sometimes social interaction involves one person talking down to you, and it's not that they mean to. They just want to talk sometimes, or they don't know what you know. So yes, I have more relevant experience than she does. So she's definitely womansplaining me. See how fun it is?
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
one reflection asks, shouldn't that be both men and women, as they're both guilty of this? Also,
Exactly.
experienced expert get things wrong on occasion. That's a very good point.
Right.
But your first question, we're about to answer that. What were you saying?
I was just gonna say the only reason that they want to put the, man word over top of it is just to be a fucking asshole, pretty much, and make it seem like a bad thing, just like man spreading.
Or man-interrupting.
Yeah.
And, are you being an asshole? That would actually be fairly fine. I would be accepting of this because sometimes people are condescending assholes. And it helps when you realize you're being a condescending asshole and try to correct that behavior. A lot of men got defensive, snarky, and angry about this chart. Gee, I wonder why. They filled Goodwin's timeline with complaint that there's no such thing as mansplaining. They said that they have been womansplained in the past and that this is not a gendered issue. LOL forever.
Yeah, that's a totally mature way to respond to that. Good job.
Well, this website is called scarymommy.com.
Oh my god. Tell me.
So why make this a gendered issue? What you are basically defining here is condescending behavior that can happen in any human interaction regardless of gender. I take offense at the sexist implication that this is a male-oriented behavior. Hashtag she's sexist, hashtag not all men, hashtag gender equality. Don't worry, Goodwin took this dude to church. It's gendered because behavior is predominantly gendered. You might also know I didn't say all men anywhere. This chart just asks if you are mansplaining. And by the way, men are by definition not targets of sexism.
Wow.
More importantly, though, women weighed in and said that the chart is both solid gold and completely accurate. Some shared their own experience with mansplaining. Drivers regularly slow down to tell me that I shouldn't be in the middle of the lane. It's always a male. They don't like it when I explain my rights or safety reasons.
What does that even mean?
Male cyclist, do you frequently experience this too? So she's basically a cyclist and she's in the middle of the road and people have to drive around her. And they're telling her, don't be in the road. If a male does this, you better believe men are going to go up and say, get off the fucking road, asshole.
Yeah, exactly. I don't even know why that person decided to get into that conversation because that's retarded.
Because it's only men telling her to get out of the middle of the road.
Yeah. Yep. Well, obviously, because they're fucking concerned. Women don't give a shit if other women get fucking hurt. Ha!
Ha! This reminds me of the time a male colleague tried to mansplain the gender gap in education to me. I know I actually co-chair the National Working Group and am frequently consulted on the issue. Well, allow me to mansplain again to you, Rebecca Ingram, that the pay gap is bullshit. Bullshit.
Or I think it said the gender gap in education.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what is it.
What that means is like a male professor makes more than a female professor. A male administrator.
Okay. Oh my god.
I've been told by some female professors, like, oh yeah, there is a gender gap. There is a gender pay gap in academia. I'm like, well, then why didn't you take them to court if you can prove that?
Exactly.
And, you know, the thing about the gender pay gap, I don't want to get too far off topic, but unlike most things, like, you know, if there's a pay dispute, like they didn't pay you adequately enough, normally they only are required to pay you the difference of what you should have earned versus what you currently earn. And usually it's not that much of a difference. But because it's the pay gap and females, you can add emotional abuse. You can say, oh, I felt abused emotionally because I was a woman, and likely get even more money for pain and suffering.
Very true.
So I think we've kind of talked about this enough. Let's see if there's anything else. People are wanting to get a PDF to send to coworkers. Someone wants this on a t-shirt. Also, a special shout out to the men who acknowledge that mansplaining exists, discussed their own slip-ups, and noted that they're making an effort to change. You're shining stars in a very gross, mucky comment section. Lots of us men are brought up to be overly confident and forthright. We often get rewarded for it in various ways, and this is part of male privilege. This can also lead to douchebaggery such as mansplaining. So charts like this are essential for us to unlearn those behaviors.
Yeah, well, there's also a such thing as overconfident women, and nobody fucking likes those women. So
Yeah.
that person really has no point. It's just not based on your personality and how you're raised and how you treat other people. And you can either be an asshole the way you talk to people, or you can, subtly be an asshole. You cannot be an asshole at all, or people might think you're an asshole and you're not an asshole. It's completely subjective.
And you know what? Men are arrogant. Men can be assholes. But I think women can be bitches a lot worse than men can be assholes. Because they know they are women. They know they can get away with it. Because if it ever comes down between you and them, especially if you're a guy, everyone will take the defense of the woman, even if she is absolutely wrong. Because all she has to do, and yes, this might sound sexist to me, but this has happened to me a lot of times where it's come between my word and a woman's word. She turns on the waterworks. Everyone wants to rush to her and aid her and go against the man that caused this to happen. Women know they can get away with a lot of shit. That's why they do all of this mansplaining stuff, to try to control men's behavior, to get what they want.
Right.
And as Warp Reflection says, cycling lanes aren't in the middle of the road, they're to the side. Did she ever think there was a reason for that? Exactly. So, Ariana Grande, sex proves God is a woman. Pussy is a privilege. Do you let your daughters listen to this? And this was released earlier this month.
I just want to point out the fact that this article, or not this article, but Ariana Grande has officially officially proven and pointed out that female privilege does exist.
That is pussy is a privilege. And since
she said it herself.
There's such thing as female privilege.
Gasly is in the chat. What's up, bro? Said, what up, Fright Power?
So singer Ariana Grande sat down with Elle magazine to dish out about the new song, God is a Woman, which is rife with religious language, sex, and is apparently meant to empower women. Now, I will say right away, I'm an atheist, don't believe in this. There is a God, and more than likely, Ariana Grande is referring to herself when she says God. Sex proves God is a woman, Ariana Grande and Elle suggests of her upcoming single. Not intelligence, talent, strength, or even love. Nope, it's sex that empowers women.
Yeah.
Well, that is true. In fact, Grande and Elle deputy editor Katie Connor suggests that it's sex that proves God is a woman. Speaking of the young talent's latest song, Connor said that she was expecting to hear a Katy Perry-esque feel-good women marchy anthem. She was mistaken. I heard it a few weeks later. Ooh, boy, was I wrong, said the deputy editor. Let's just say it's more about taking agency in the bedroom than at the office.
Oh, God.
The sultry song lyrics suggest it's Grande's sex that will make the man she's with believe God is a woman. And fun fact, it's apparently her 92-year-old favorite song.
Why?
Really? Her Nana likes that she sings a song. Now it's her favorite song? Gee, that doesn't sound like nepotism. As noted by Life's News, Grande Met Gala gown, which featured Michelangelo's The Last Judgment painting, was a foreshadow, a hint of the new song. So she basically wore a dress that had the Last Supper on it, or the Last Judgment. Okay. Grande's fans can hear it themselves July 20th. I guess we could hear it now if we want. But here are some of the lyrics. You love it how I move you. Love it how I touch you with my one. When all is said and done, you'll believe God is a woman. And I feel it after midnight, a feeling you can't fight. It lingers when we're done. You'll believe God is a woman.
How is that empowering at all?
All it says is that you'll believe God is a woman. It doesn't say anything that suggests that women can do anything special in the bedroom.
No.
But you know what? Let's take her at her word for a moment that God is a woman. And we're talking about Christianity here. So if God is a woman, then why did she create man first? Why did she make giving birth such a painful experience?
Right.
I mean, answer that for me.
I'm looking at the lyrics right now. The full lyrics.
Talk about mocking Christianity. When a fan questioned Grande about the song, she responded, "Sex is empowering. It's the source of all life. Pussy is a privilege." Grande carried over the sexual message to Twitter, where she made numerous posts about pussy. "Sex is empowering," she wrote to Twitter user who asked about the song. Oh, I guess. Another tweet, Grande kept it simple. Pussy is a privilege.
Someone tweeted at me and said that she sounded like Jar Jar Binks, and that made me laugh.
Well, War Perfection says, so she's proving the MGTOW's point that if a woman didn't have a vag and tits, they'd have nothing. And I think that that's what it is really saying. And also for the fact that when she says that pussy is a privilege, I think she's talking to men in this one. She's not saying, hey, woman, it's a privilege to have a vagina. She's saying, men, it's a privilege to have this vagina. If you want you have to be privileged enough to get any vagina. And if you don't get a vagina, well, you're not privileged. This is an attack on men here.
Oh, God. The video features a monologue spoken by Madonna.
It involves what?
It features a monologue spoken by Madonna.
Oh, that's helpful. I mean, back in the day, she was a sex symbol. Nowadays, she's just like a drunk who takes way too many prescription pills, who's emotionally unstable.
Yeah, I just read throughout the entire lyrics, and there's literally nothing specific. It's just a pop song that just says God is a woman sometimes. And basically, like every other, like, you know, sexual-ish sounding pop song. So good job.
You know, I'm so good at sex, you'll be convinced that God must be a woman, because how could a man make a woman like this?
Yeah, that's fucking
think about that. Let me think about this. So by that logic, all sex bots are women if they make men feel good. No, all sex bots were created by women if they make men feel good. Because that's the only way to make a man feel good, is if a woman created it.
Yeah.
It has to be a woman, because how would God, being a man, know how to pleasure himself? He wouldn't make a woman properly. I mean, this is just such an absurd concept.
I'm looking at the fucking the music video right now with no sound, and it's so cringy. She was literally like she had a fucking a galaxy wrapped around her fucking body, like a hula hoop. It's so fucking stupid. What?
Is that a Ford Galaxy?
Yeah.
I know what you meant. Unfortunately, we can't show the video because then we'd be taken down for copyright. I mean, I once gave a review of the Ghostbusters trailer and it got taken down, so
Yeah.
I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah. Oh my god, she's fingering the fucking earth. She was on top of the earth and she was stroking it like a vagina. There's a lot of vagina-looking things in this fucking video. What the fuck?
So, but I more reflection. Basically, this song is saying that all women is their ability to have sex, and their value is nothing greater than that. And because she's a famous artist singing a song about sex, these people at this magazine's like, oh, it's so empowering for women.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's actually doing more harm to women than what they perceive the men's movement to do.
Yeah.
So, of course, they mention her other left-leaning politics, that she's anti-Trump, she's for gun reform, and Black Lives Matter. So
lovely. Yeah, she used to be like cute when she was in fucking that one show where she first started out on Nickelodeon, but now she's just a cringe fest like the rest of the Hollywood.
Yeah.
Not what's the opposite of a know-it-all? Know nothing at all. Oh, there we go.
All right, so the last one today, which just really cracks me up. All of these have just really cracked me up today. And, you know, it's kind of a theme that feminism is just going down the drain because they're just doubling down on useless bullshit rather than trying to reform and change with the times. So, safe space. Facebook blocked links to women's right group after transphobia complaints. So, a Woman's Place UK campaigns for only women's spaces and raised concern. Okay, let me read this for. Facebook has been slammed for censoring a feminist campaign group after it was accused of transphobia. Women's Place UK campaigns for women-only services and raises concerns about transgender people being able to self-identify as women. The social network temporarily blocked links to its website over the weekend, citing user safety as the site was malicious. This morning, our supporters are reporting that Facebook posts which links to the website are being removed, tweeted the group. The reason given is that they may be in breach of community standards. They are not. We would urge you to visit our website and read the posts and decide for yourselves. Its supporters blasted Facebook's clampdown, calling it a disgrace, and accused the site of suppressing free speech. Sound familiar? Only fake news and hard Brexit is allowed on Facebook. Women's rights are bad, MK, tweeted one user. The move coincided with a Twitter post from user Mimi Mum, whose profile indicates the account belongs to Helen, who's passionate about acceptance for transgendered people and trans kids. So the Women's Place UK tweets, "We're not interested in petty social media battle with people who oppose our aim. We are a campaign established to ensure that women's voices and women's rights are upheld in any proposed changes to the laws that affect them." This morning, our supporter, we already kind of read that one, so. The tweet included screenshots prompting users to report Women's Place UK groups to Facebook for breaching its guidelines. And that's what we're seeing here, like, hey, report this and submit it to Facebook for review. Ellen also accused it of transphobia and excluding trans women. Judith Green of Women's Place UK told The Times it was difficult to contact Facebook to discuss why it had blocked the links, adding, "We regard it as a fairly serious issue and democratic discussion. This is about women's voices being able to be heard. Women's Place UK was formed in September 2017 in the wake of the government's pledge to amend the Gender Recognition Act, allowing people to legally change their gender without medical approval. The group says it wants a respectful and evidence-based discussion about the impact of the proposed changes to the Gender Recognition Act and to be allowed to take the place for women's voices to be heard. It has accused social media sites of deliberately obstructing and hiding its posts and alleging that its detractors are setting up fake profiles as a part of a smear campaign against its nationwide events and public meetings. Facebook's crackdown and subsequent U-turn is the latest in a series of gaffes for the company. Just days ago, Mark Zuckerberg backtracked from his apparent defense of Holocaust deniers on his site. So now I want you to take this into consideration. If you reversed all the genders of this, and instead of a UK women's place, you said men's rights activists, we've seen this 100 times. We've seen that exact post 100 times where Facebook is going against men's rights groups. But now the shoe's on the other foot, and the feminists are saying the exact same things we do. That this was a targeted attack, that people created fake profiles to try to take us down. They're saying, oh, it's suppressing free speech. Well, first off, you're in the UK. You don't have free speech. That's not a legal mandate. Now, if it was in America, you'd technically be correct, but it's still a private company, so they can still mandate what isn't protected speech. But what makes me laugh about this is that feminism has been using transgenderism as a weapon against everyone else. That if you don't support transgenderism 100%, then you're transphobic and you should be shamed and you should lose your livelihood. And it's kind of like when we were giving weapons to Saddam Hussein back in the 70s and 80s. And then by the 90s, he used those weapons on us. We did the same thing for Osama bin Laden. We did the same thing for Syria. They eventually turned their weapons on us. Feminism has used transgenderism as a weapon, and now it's being directed back at them. That, to me, is ironic.
Absolutely.
And yeah, they are TERFs, basically feminists who are against against transgender. And you know, that's fine, but it's like they're making it sound like they're the only ones that have ever had to deal with this. And it's like, you know, wake up. Men's groups have been dealing with this for a very long time. Oh, I guess I can't show that picture right there of the woman topless.
Oh my.
I'll just focus on that woman topless. Hey, it's Dixon
What
Blue.
kind of side is this?
It's the sun. They post all sorts of stuff.
I saw, I don't know about a sun, but I saw a moon up there for sure.
So, I mean, I'm just laughing about this because it's like, now the weapon you used against us is being used against yourselves. You create a monster, and now the monster is attacking its creator. That's basically Frankenstein. Okay, I haven't really read Frankenstein. That was just I got of the story.
Yeah.
So this is just wonderful.
Nice. Hell yeah.
And more trans people are starting to be against feminism. So
Yeah.
and I have no problem with trans individuals. And by that, I mean actual trans people and not people who just want to say they're trans to get special attention.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I only like those that are transparent.
Yeah. Gotta be transparent.
The Family Guy joke, but it was something that Vanessa told me.
Yeah, that shit is hilarious.
Apparently, according to Warped Reflection, the sun is just tabloid trash. So maybe this is real. Maybe no, it is real because I mean they have the posts to show it.
Yeah, they're just trying to get you to look at the sexual stuff over there.
But so yeah, I'm laughing about this. I mean, every one of these stories, a woman tries to display her disgusting body and get insults, doesn't get insults, gets compliments, and then it's like, oh, it's so much worse.
Mhm.
You know, female directors finally getting equality of outcome, and they don't like it. They're like, oh, we shouldn't be hired because we're women, even though that's what we fought for. It's
Right.
like they want both sides of the equation. They want equality of opportunity, so everyone has a chance to get it, but then equality of outcome that only women get it.
Mm-hmm.
And that you should only see films made by women that have dominant female characters in it.
Uh-huh. But don't fetishize them.
Yeah. Ariana Grande trying to say that women are nothing more than what they can do in the bedroom. And this is like, oh, yeah, female empowerment. This is what feminism has become. That's why I'm so glad that feminism is on its way out. It's going to get worse before it gets better. Don't get me wrong. And this is just kind of like the starting point, or it has been kind of the starting point for a few years of feminism going away. And maybe it'll take 10, 15, 20 years, but eventually feminism will be a joke to everyone.
I hope so. At least radical feminists, for God's sake.
So I'll go ahead and flip this off. I know you want to see the titties, but I can't really show that.
Oh, the Sun was the paper with the page 3 titty girls until they were forced to remove them.
I thought that was the case, but I didn't know the Sun was a UK paper. I thought it was a San Francisco paper, so that's news to me, but I have heard of the Sun before.
I haven't heard of the Sun in 45 years. I've been in the dark.
Yeah, so they're probably no different than the National Enquirer or any of those people or Us Weekly. They're all just tabloid trash. I don't know how the UK in general feels about the trans people. Is TERF a common thing, Warped Reflection, or is it like here in the United States, they're just a small subset of feminism? I'll wait for her to answer that. So, yeah, thank you, Vanessa, for some of those articles this week. It's just so fun.
Yeah, I saw the one. Actually, it was Ben Shapiro that shared the one of the fat lady, and I was like, "Oh, this was lovely." Actually, I think I didn't share it on my page just so that we could talk about it on here first.
Well, that's why Ben Shapiro went gay. Am I thinking?
He went gay.
No, I'm thinking of the other guy, not Ben Shapiro. I can't remember his name.
Milo?
No. The guy who used to be on the Young Turks and now has his own show.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, on YouTube, tell us who we're trying to think of because I can't think of it right now.
World Reflection replied.
Yeah, I see it. Only a small subset of people are TERFs, so that's good at the very least, but it's like... You don't... Oh, it's Ohio Dan. Hey, man, what's up? Caught us on the last 15 minutes of our show. Dan has my back.
I apologize, I am tired. I need a nap and some food. For sure.
So, anything new with you, Vanessa? Any art stuff going on? Any, oh, she does have an announcement about her channel, if you want to mention that real quick.
Oh, yeah, I can fucking stream again, apparently. And I just woke up and I was looking through my notifications on my phone, and it was like, you have now obtained the ability to stream or some shit like that. I was like, what the fuck? And so I tried to do it while I was on the toilet, but it kept glitching out on me. So I went I went outside and I did another one. And yeah, so now I apparently can stream. So I'll be doing that some more rather than doing it on Twitch because fucking, I don't know. I don't like Twitch. It's gay. People are gay.
I mean, I do a morning show on Twitch on Gator and Frog Network, and I enjoy playing video games, but I really don't like Twitch. I don't like YouTube, but the interface user experience is better than Twitch. So
Yeah.
I wish there was like a third option that would allow me to actually reach out to people.
Yeah. Well, have you seen the new layout for like the creator studio yet?
It doesn't look any different to me. I mean, certainly I had to go through the creator studio just to set this up, and it just looks good.
Yeah, for some reason, it like updated and it went to some like weird straight. It almost looked like Facebook. Honestly, it like started. It was like all different colors and shapes and stuff. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it said go back to Creator Classic. I was like, yes, please, God. I can't figure out where my fucking videos are, for fuck's sake.
Oh. I think I might have seen what you're talking about a few months ago, but...
Really?
Yeah, I went to Creator Classic because it's like, fuck this shit.
Yeah, well, maybe I just accidentally clicked something and turned it on or something because I have no idea how that happened.
I probably did it automatically for you to say, hey, check out this new interface that makes it all more confusing.
Yeah, I was like, thank you.
But I did receive an email that YouTube is doing away with PMs, so you can no longer PM me on YouTube to get a hold of me. And, you know, to be fair, no one's really talking about... no one uses that feature. I maybe get one message every 6 months. But, I mean, people can contact me on Twitter. That's just fine.
Yeah. Twitter and Facebook. Boy. Always.
Oh, I did get an interesting story this morning that apparently WWE is doing an all-women's pay-per-view event.
Oh, good for them! Yay! What's next? An all-men's event?
Well, no, that would be sexist. But you know what? I'm not really bothered by this because it's like, look, if over the years they have built up a female following of their program, and it demonstrates that if they did this, there would be revenue from it, I have no problem with it. Because technically, any other pay-per-view is predominantly a men only. Occasionally, they might have a female wrestling match, but those are few and far between. Yeah. But if they're doing this just to try to pander to feminists and saying, hey, you should watch our show because you don't already, because we support female empowerment, you're going to be sorely mistaken in that move because feminists don't have money. It's been proven time and time again that when you make things specific to feminists, feminists don't watch things. Watch reflections like women mostly watch wrestling for the male bodies.
True.
I mean, I used to watch wrestling back in the day when I was younger, and now it's just become more soap opera than wrestling, and it's just like, it's boring. Just so boring. So I gave up on it like 10, 15 years ago. But, and then, of course, there's the whole Buffy thing that we were talking about earlier. And it's like, damn you, Anita. Why do I have to agree with you?
Right.
Dave Rubin, that's who I was thinking of. I could Ben Shapiro with Dave Rubin because I said he was gay, and I was actually talking about Dave Rubin. So
I don't think I know who that is.
Yeah, watching, apparently Anna Kasparian has been like going on the attack against Dave Rubin, and it's just like, wow, Anna, do you really have nothing to do in your life that you have to spend so much energy attacking Dave Rubin? And I know why she's doing it, because the Young Turks have had a steady decline of subscribers, a steady decline of people watching their programs. So they're trying to start a battle in order to get some attention their way. They want Dave Rubin to respond to it all. And I hope he doesn't, because if he responds, he's basically giving them what they want. They want more viewership. So they're so desperate, they're just looking to have a battle with someone.
Yeah.
Anywho, I think that's going to do it for us today. Let's go ahead and hop off on here.
Okay. I'm tired.
Well, why don't you go ahead and chill yourself?
Well, if everybody doesn't already know, I've got art for sale, and I do custom art and, crafts and stuff like that. And I have, stores with my art in it, or with my art on shirts. But if you want to donate to paypal.me/Medusa's or patreon.com/MonoMedusa, then you can get either GIFs, videos, art, fan signs, whatever you want, really. I'll do whatever. But yeah, just find those links in the descriptions of all my videos or on Twitter, pinned to my profile at Vanessa W. Cheese. And don't forget to buy a freaking calendar.
The Venerable BD says it's 12 a.m. here and I have to be up for work at 5 a.m. How do I calm my overactive mind? I just can't get to sleep. Here's what you do. You take your penis out to start jerking yourself off, because Modern Medusa is very hot. And if this right here is not doing it for you, then look on her Twitter account. There's just lots of amazing pictures of her. And follow her on Twitter as well. And that should... What's up?
It's a check on my Pornhub.
All right, so her shilling's done. Now it's time for my shilling. So as some of you know, I want to start doing videos on Udemy where I'm going to be teaching about various things. I've started working on this. I'm trying to get my Modern Medusa is showing so much cleavage. I mean, one half of her is not, and the other half is. So come on. That's like the best thing. It's the illusion of nudity that's more sexier than actual nudity. Just basic human psychology. She is hot and she is a cool person. Yeah, that's true.
Thank you.
I am trying to make a career out of teaching. So hopefully that's going to pay off. That's what my whole trip to Philadelphia was. However, I'm still collecting money on my Patreon until I can start making money on this. Big thank you to Ohio Down as being one of my contributors, reading Ren. I keep meaning to look that up, and then I just get so busy writing this script for this course I'm writing. So I apologize for anyone else. But I want to get health insurance so I can start seeing a doctor so I can start trying to get better. But for right now, any money that's donated helps for my day-to-day since I can't do a normal job. Even doing these videos for Udemy takes a lot out of me. I can maybe only work like 1 or 2 hours a day. So even doing these videos is tough for me. So any help you can give me is greatly appreciated. Oh, it's JP Province. We should do more shows at 6 p.m. at night. We're getting so much traffic. If you want to help me out, but you don't want to do the whole Patreon thing, that's fine. I have my, excuse me, too much monster cock. I mean, drink. I have my PayPal down below, or you can just buy my book, How to Destroy a Woman Now, which is a book that I created in parody of another book, How to Destroy a Man Now. Let's make the world really hate me for writing such a book. So just go ahead and buy it.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, I'm on the cover.
Oh, yeah, I'm on the cover as well. It's my beautiful face.
Yes, the hot, cool person's face on my book. I thank everyone for showing up today. Warped Reflection, always great to see you. Oh, hi, Dan. It's been so long since I've seen you on one of my shows. Venerable BD, I don't know if you've been on here before, but thank you for stopping by. And JP Province, also been a long time, but thank you for stopping by.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can do more of these late shows. We'll see how our schedules are. This, like I said, was just kind of an experiment to see what's really involved with this. But just follow us on our social media. We've got GGMad_cat. We got Vanessa with Cheese, and we also got LL of MM. Also, buy our calendar. This thing right here.
PayPal.me/love these ladies, sorry. Donate $10 and you can either get one of those or a wall calendar.
All right. See ya, everyone.
Bye.